Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is David Novak. I have been gratified with the interest recently shown in my latest book against fascism, though I understand, of course, that that interest owes itself to the pressing circumstances under which we are living and to which this book relates in its topicality. The question has been posed. Let me put it differently. In the course of the interest, people have sometimes wondered where they can get the book. And I try, if I'm talking about any book, I try to put a link in my video's description box to the page where my books are listed at lulu.com. Lulu.com is the self-pub house that I use to put out all of these things. And Lulu is the only place most of my titles can be gotten. And particularly this one, if you are interested, you have to go to lulu.com. You can search for the title, and chances are you will find it. With other titles, it's not always so certain. But it occurred to me that I should perhaps talk a little bit about why they are not available elsewhere, such as at Amazon.com. And the reason is fairly simple, and it is not any kind of I am boycotting Amazon because I hate Amazon, that kind of thing. It is, I need to relate my history as a self-publisher. So my first book was The Requiem, and it actually came out in 1999. It is copyrighted in 2000. So this is The Requiem, my big book, and it was published by Non-Fit Press. That was a company that I created, did the incorporation papers and all of that. I was hoping to make a success of it. In terms of experiences lived, I did indeed make a success of it. In terms of sales and whatnot, well, that would be a different matter. But the world of self-publishing was very different back in 1999. And you had to learn a host of skills. One had to engage a printer, one had to learn about all of the I don't know, the old word would have been typesetting, just the rudiments of book design, and one of the facets of that is the acquisition of an ISBN number. And people who, I think nowadays pretty much everybody probably knows about ISBN numbers. It is the little number which would correspond to the barcode generally on the back of one's title. Books did not always have those. And this was, for the self-publisher, something of an ordeal of its own right. It was kind of similar to, but not equal to the hurdle one must leap across to get a Library of Congress catalog card number, as I recall. This is all ancient news, and so my memory is not real clear on this stuff anymore. But in the United States, the only place that you could get an ISBN number was from a company called R.R. Bowker, Bowker. I believe that is still the source for all of our ISBN numbers. Let me see. Well, this doesn't say much of anything. This is you could buy an ISBN number in quantities of 1 or quantities of 10. That would be something that one's publisher would have handled for an author. And so when one assumed the mantle of self-publisher, then all of that became incumbent upon oneself. And so I was ambitious. I did not, this was, I think, my 5th book completed at that time, and so I thought that I would publish the rest of my illustrious oeuvre. The 2nd book was a book of sonnets. I couldn't locate a copy of it to show you. So I immediately thought, well, I will just buy the strip of 10 ISBN numbers because there was a substantial cost savings. And so these were my ISBN numbers. Now, if you caught a glimpse of that, you will see titles there that did not come out with an ISBN number. So Fascist Heart at the top. That book was published later at lulu.com, the self-pub house, and it never got the ISBN number. I'm guessing that this reflects plans that I had. My first 5 books did come out under the Non-Fit Press imprint with 5 of these ISBN numbers, but very shortly into the process, it may well have been at the time of Sonnets, the 2nd book, this company, R.R. Bowker, announced to everybody that these old ISBN numbers would no longer be valid. These are 0967, whatever. And I think they were expanding the number to something of a greater digit count because of the overwhelming number of books being produced all the time. They needed more numbers. So they advised owners of these ISBNs that your whatever it was, 10-digit ISBNs will no longer be valid. And we will not trade any of your unused ISBNs for these newer, longer ISBNs. So I felt cheated. I felt a little bit miffed, for one thing. Somewhere along the line, I recalled reading that in Canada, the ISBN process was different. In Canada, they viewed having an ISBN to a book was a necessity insofar as publishing a book represented an exercise of free speech. And I thought about that, and I think it is a legitimate viewpoint, and I think that the established tradition in the United States, or the established method of issuing all these numbers to a private company, R.R. Bowker, who then in turn sells them to the publisher or to the author, was really at its base illegitimate, and that the Canadian method was superior. Of course, I was miffed about getting gypped out of 5 of my ISBN numbers. It was not easy to collect the funds for all of this, to be sure. So years later, print on demand is now a thing. You can go to private companies such as Lulu.com. You can go to Amazon. They have a place called CreateSpace where people can self-publish their books. In effect, you're using Amazon as something of a publisher or Lulu as something of a publisher, though really they are just printers. They just print your book. And one of the services that I think Amazon was the first to offer was the provision of an ISBN to its creators, I guess would be the right word, its authors. And there was a lot of discussion about this at the time because the ISBN, now this is what was said back then. The ISBN that Amazon buys from R.R. Bowker, of course, it can purchase that ISBN at a cut rate price because they purchase so many of them. And then they give it to you, but they do not exactly give it to you. I believe they still own that ISBN number. So their ISBN number becomes, in effect, permanently associated with your book. Now, books can switch ISBN numbers now and again. A new edition comes out or it gets reprinted by a different publishing house. Things like that do happen. But in the main, a book is wedded to its ISBN number. And so these were held by Amazon. And a person has certain lines they will not cross, let's say. And once I understood the whole situation with ISBNs, I knew that free speech, the principle of free speech, dictates that ISBNs should be allotted freely to any and all who desire them, not sold by a private entity, R.R. Bowker, to, say, another private entity, be it a private publisher, be it Amazon.com, whatever. And so when I decided to put my books out at Lulu.com, I had the choice to make. If I go without the ISBN number, that immediately limits my circulation. But I felt that that was the right choice to make. Even when I had the ISBNs, I did not have magically some great circulation. As I recall, for better placement in the bookstores, you had to be carried by Ingram, and you had to be carried by, oh, what was the other one? Darn it. There were two, and now I can't remember. And Ingram would never take me. They would never take on my books. So, for example, libraries couldn't get them because I think most libraries relied on Ingram. And the other company, it was two names, Baker and Taylor. And I don't know if they are still around. So I hooked up with Baker and Taylor. And so anybody who wanted one of my titles published by Non-Fit Press could get them at a bookstore. It would have to be special ordered, that kind of thing. But it did happen. But it was all a hassle. So when I moved over to the print-on-demand sphere, where all of the mechanics of putting out a hard copy have been reduced to a relatively simple process, I decided to just forego the ISBN. Now, I would be happy to have ISBNs for my books when ISBNs are given to everybody for free. Now, things may have changed since then. I would not be surprised if authors, self-pub authors in Canada, don't even realize that they are now what is the word? They are entitled to free ISBNs. That's how it was 20-some years ago. It may have changed, but I wouldn't be surprised if everybody just has fallen into the whoosh of Amazon CreateSpace and just accepts the ISBN which Amazon gives to them. So it is because of all of this that if you have an interest in one of my books, and particularly even this book, Against Fascism, you cannot get it at Amazon.com. You probably cannot get it at your independent bookstore. You have to go through Lulu.com. And unfortunately, they do not offer, say, the free shipping that you might get were you to buy it from Amazon, that kind of thing. But it was just a case of I didn't feel I had any other option when it came to putting my Lulu.com titles out into the marketplace. So anyhow, I am, as I say, gratified that some interest has been shown in this book, and that has bled over a little bit to some other of my titles. I do have a host of titles at Lulu.com. If you are interested in the first 5 books, you just have to go to Amazon or go to any, bookfinder.com, find your vendor of choice and buy them that way. So I just thought I would talk about that. Perhaps things have changed and perhaps things are different now. I am out of touch, but I am not worrying that much about it. Thank you for stopping by to listen to this, and I will talk to you next time.